kindergarten. It is the week before our winter vacation, and so I thought it would be fun to change things up a little bit this week and do some more wintry activities. So I brought a book along with me today that I am going to share with you, and then we're going to use this story to help us with our writing today. All right? So I brought along the book Frosty the Snowman and the Magic Day. Now you might be familiar with the cartoon Frosty the Snowman. This is similar, but it's a little different. So I want you to listen and watch and look at the beautiful pictures of this book, Frosty the Snowman and the Magic Day. All right. After a long and snowy winter, spring was coming. Buds appeared on all the trees. Robins came back to their nests. Each day was getting warmer and the snow was melting fast. Frosty the Snowman knew the time had come for him to leave. On his way, he stopped off to visit Mother Nature. She lived in a beautiful high cloud where Frosty would not melt. The snowman liked to visit her in the spring and watch her using her magic to make the sun shine brightly and the flowers grow. Back on Earth, Frosty's friend Mary was just getting over a long illness which had kept her inside almost all winter. Now Mary wanted to go outside and play in the snow with her friends. Most of all, she wanted to play with her good friend, Frosty the Snowman. Finally, one bright and sunny morning, Mary's mother said, "I think what you need now is fresh air and sunshine. Do you want to go outside today?" "Oh boy," Mary said excitedly. She jumped out of bed. "I can't wait to see Frosty." Mary danced up and down, and while her mother bundled her into her jacket and scarf. "Keep your hat on," Mary's mother called after as she raced out the door. "Make sure you want to stay warm." Mary barely heard her mother. "Here I come," she shouted, bounding down the back steps. Mary soon found her friends, but Frosty was nowhere to be seen. "Where's Frosty?" Mary asked. "Frosty couldn't stay any longer," Sarah said sadly. "There's no snow left," Peter added. "It was getting too warm." "But he'll be back next winter," said David, hoping to cheer Mary up. "Next winter?" Mary cried. "But I want to go ice skating. I want to throw snowballs. I wish there could be one more snowy day so Frosty and I can play before he has to go away." Then she sat down on her back steps and began to cry. She's sad. She misses Frosty. From high up in Mother Nature's cloud, Frosty saw Mary and heard her talking to her friends. When he realized how sad Mary was, Frosty decided to ask Mother Nature for a special favor. "Please, Mother Nature," he said, "can we have one more snowy day? My friend Mary hadn't had a chance to go ice skating or throw snowballs or go sledding this winter. Just one day is all we need." "Of course, Frosty," said Mother Nature, "but the snow clouds are a little sleepy after the long winter. You'll have to wake them up." So Frosty went back to Mary's house, where all the children were trying to cheer her up. "Frosty!" Mary cried as soon as she saw him. "I thought you would have waited a whole year before I saw you again. Aren't you going to melt?" "Not today," Frosty replied. "Now everyone hold hands. We're going to have one last day of winter." "Yay!" they all shouted as they grabbed each other's hands. Then they began to rise up into the air. Up, up, up they went. "This is neat," Peter said as they reached the fluffy white cloud. "Okay, everybody, let's go," Frosty said. So they all let go of each other's hands and poof! landed in a deep, soft, foamy snowdrift. The children ran and slid all over the cloud. They threw snowballs. They jumped into snowdrifts, but not once did any of them feel cold. Frosty's magic kept them all as warm as can be. I think this cloud is asleep, Frosty said. We're going to have to tickle it so that it wakes up and starts to snow for us. So they all began to tickle the cloud. They tickled each other, too, a little bit. Before long, the cloud began to shake. Then it began to giggle softly. Soon it was laughing and shaking and wiggling all at once. Hey, look, Mary said, pointing. It's starting to snow. Grab yourself a snowflake, shouted Frosty as he climbed onto a large one passing by. Mary jumped up and grabbed onto a great big snowflake. Whee! She cried as she started floating back to Earth. Wow, that seems like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Look at them riding those big snowflakes. They're almost like saucers, if you've ever used saucers to go sledding. Soon every child was riding a snowflake. They held on tight and softly floated back to Earth. Look out below! Frosty shouted as the snowflake spun in circles. Whee! Cried all the children as the wind twirled them round in the sky. Such big snowflakes covered the countryside quickly in a blanket of white. Now everyone came out of their houses to watch as the children floated gently down to the ground. Mary's mother called out, Mary, are you sure you're warm enough? Yes, Mom, Mary giggled as her snowflake landed in the field. Every child in town was running and playing in the newly fallen snow. Hooray for Frosty's last present, they all shouted. We are having one more day of winter, after all. That night, they all went for a sleigh ride. As they rode, the children sang, Hooray for Frosty, he saved the day by making it snow so that we all could play. 3 cheers for Frosty, jump in the sleigh, hooray, hooray, hooray. And there's a picture of Frosty. The end. So, that's a little different than the movie or the cartoon you might see on TV. But what we're going to write about today is if you had a magical snowman, just like Frosty, if you had a magical snowman that could give you one wish, just one, what magical wish would you want from your snowman? So, your grown-up can either print this off of Lincoln Learning, or if you don't have a printer, you can have your grown-up copy the first part of the sentence into your journal, and you can write in your journal. So there's 2 choices. You can either have this printed off if you don't have a printer, or you can't print it. Just have a grown-up write, if a magical snowman gave me a wish, ... And then your job, friends, is you are going to write what your wish would be. If a magical snowman gave me a wish, I would wish for... And then tell me what you would wish for, okay? That's it. You're just going to write one sentence. You're just finishing the sentence. I would wish for... Fill in the blank. And then you can color the snowman and maybe even draw a picture of the thing that you wish for. And it could be an actual object that you wish for, or it could be like, something that's not necessarily an object, okay? So it can be anything you want, little, big, anything that you want, okay? It's your imagination. If you had a magical snowman that could give you a wish, what would you wish for? All right, friends, that is your writing activity for today. So I hope you enjoyed our story, and I hope you have fun writing about if a magical snowman gave you a wish. What would it be? All right, friends, see you soon.